10 Shocking Truths About Vikings. They were called Northmen, Danes, raiders of the North Sea. But one thing's for sure, everything you think you know about Vikings is probably wrong. Welcome to Valhalla Chronicles, where legend meets history. Today we're counting down 10 shocking truths about the Vikings that your history teacher never told you. Let's set sail. 10. They weren't called Vikings by themselves. Most people think Viking was their name, but it wasn't. Viking was a job title, like pirate or raider. A farmer in Norway wasn't always a Viking, but if he went on a raid to England, then he became one, for that season. These people called themselves Norse, Danes, Northmen, or by their clan. So yes, not every Norseman was a Viking, but every Viking was a Norseman. 9. They were surprisingly clean. Forget the dirty barbarian stereotype. The Vikings were obsessed with hygiene. Archaeologists have found combs, tweezers, ear cleaners, and razors in Viking graves, even among warriors. They bathed weekly, more than most Europeans at the time. And they even used lye soap to bleach their beards blonde, because blonde hair was fashionable. Shocking, you bet, but true. 8. Viking women could be warriors, and leaders, yes. Shieldmaidens were real. While not common, female warriors existed. In 2017, scientists confirmed that a high-status Viking warrior buried with swords, arrows, and 2 horses in Birka, Sweden, was a woman. Her grave proves some Viking women were not just housewives. They could own property, divorce their husbands, and even lead raids. And legends like Lagertha and Freydis Eiriksdottir, who fought pregnant, may be based on real women. Number 7. They reached America 500 years before Columbus. In the year 1000 A.D., a Norse explorer named Leif Erikson sailed west from Greenland and landed in Vinland, modern-day Newfoundland, Canada. We know this because of 2 sagas, the Saga of the Greenlanders and the Saga of Eric the Red, and because in the 1960s archaeologists found Meadows, a Viking settlement. So yes, the first European in North America was a Viking. Number 6. They never wore horned helmets. This is the biggest myth of all. No Viking ever wore a horned helmet into battle. Zero evidence. Not in art, not in graves, not in sagas. The myth started in the 1800s, thanks to a costume designer for a Wagner opera. It looked dramatic, but it was pure fiction. Real Viking helmets were simple iron caps, practical for war. So the horned helmet? That's Hollywood's Viking, not history's. Number 5. They were master traders, not just raiders. Yes, they raided monasteries, but the Vikings were also brilliant traders. They built a network from Canada to Baghdad. In Russia, they sailed rivers with goods like furs, amber, and slaves, trading for Arab silver coins found all over Scandinavia. One Viking town, Hedeby in Denmark, was a medieval Silk Road hub. They weren't just destroyers, they were connectors of worlds. Before, they had a written language. Runes, the Vikings wrote, using runes, an alphabet called Futhark. You've seen them on stones, swords, and jewelry. Runestones weren't just for magic, they were memorials, like ancient gravestones. Example, Eric raised this stone in memory of his father who died in England. They even carved graffiti, like on the Piraeus lion in Greece, left by Norse mercenaries. So yes, Vikings were literate. Number 3. They believed in a doomed apocalypse, Ragnarok. The Vikings didn't believe in a peaceful afterlife. They believed in Ragnarok, the end of the world, a final battle where Odin dies fighting the wolf Fenrir. Thor kills the world serpent, but dies from its poison. The sun is swallowed. The earth sinks into the sea. But here's the twist. After destruction comes rebirth. 2 humans survive, hiding in a tree. The world rises again, green and new. Dark? Yes. Poetic? Absolutely. Number 2. A Viking descendant conquered England in 1066. You've heard of William the Conqueror? He wasn't just French. His great-great-great-grandfather was Rollo, a Viking warlord who attacked Paris. In 911, the French king gave Rollo land in exchange for peace. That land became Normandy, land of the Northmen. And in 1066, Rollo's descendant William crossed the Channel and conquered England. So the Norman conquest? It was a Viking victory, 150 years in the making. 1. The Viking Age ended. With a march in the rain. The Viking Age didn't end with a whimper. It ended with a battle in a field in northern England. In 1066, just weeks before William landed in England, King Harald Hardrada of Norway, one of the greatest Viking warriors, invaded. He won one battle, then marched to Stamford Bridge. There he faced the English king, Harold Godwinson. The fight was brutal, but Harald Hardrada was killed by an arrow to the throat. With his death, the dream of a Viking empire in England died too. 3 weeks later, Harold was defeated by William at Hastings. And just like that, the Viking Age was over. The Vikings weren't just raiders. They were explorers, traders, poets, and settlers. They shaped Europe, discovered America, and left behind a legacy of courage, curiosity, and myth. And their story, it's far from over. If you enjoyed this journey into the truth of the Vikings, smash that like button, subscribe for more sagas, battles, and secrets from the Norse world. Ring the bell so you don't miss the next video. The real Ragnar Lothbrok, history versus TV show. Comment below. Which Viking truth shocked you the most? Was it the clean Vikings, the female warriors, or the fact they reached America first? Until next time, hold the line.